Yeah, so we had to turn that off for a minute. That's my boy Jason Stevens, man. Yeah. Always rocking with us. You know what I'm saying? So I got my baby in the building with me. You already know this is Grown Folks TV for grown folks only. It's been a minute. It's been a little minute. I blame her. Right. I blame her, the wife. No, I'm joking. Just had a lot going on. So we trying to learn to be more consistent with this thing. Thank you for all the positive feedback. Thank you for all the love that has been shown. We really appreciate all the text messages. People just hitting us up randomly, like Moro hit us up yesterday. Thank you for the podcast, and that really meant a lot. Thank you for the YouTube page, everything. So, you ready for a good topic tonight, baby?
Yeah, I'm ready.
How have you been?
I've been doing great. Life has been good despite our crazy world. The good part is that, we're in the world but not of the world.
That's facts.
We can be unaffected by what's going on around us.
Nah, that's facts. That's facts.
Life is great.
Life is great. I can't complain. Shout out to my boy Plain James. That's his line. So yeah, tonight we have a topic. The topic tonight we want to discuss. We got a lot of married people, a lot of people that's just in relationships. I don't like the way I said that. It's just in relationships.
Right.
Because marriage is a relationship.
Right.
So let me change that. We have a lot of married people and a lot of people that are in relationships as well. Some people are engaged, and we wanted to, pun intended, engage in different conversations when it comes to marriage and relationships. So tonight, the title is, Will You Marry Me? Will you marry me? Will you?
I would do it all over
again. I'm about to say, got a little pause there. I was like, hold on, player. I don't know now. But no, the title, Will You Marry Me, was just I was riding in the car and, trying to see where God wanted us to go with this YouTube, with this podcast as well, and just asking God, like, okay, what do you want us to do with this? And the thought came to me, will you marry me? And that topic, that title, if you will, was like, okay, about the list that we all have. You know what I'm saying? That list. I had a list as well. I'm not exempt from this. When I first met Monica, before I met Monica, I had a list. What I did want, what I didn't want, what I would stand for, what I wouldn't stand for, all of that. And let me tell y'all, listen.
Let me tell y'all. I mean, you know what? I mean, I met every criteria of the list.
What?
But, don't get your hopes up. That doesn't always happen. Just kidding. We all know that's not true.
Nah, but because let's be honest, she didn't meet the criteria of the list. And I'm going to be real with y'all. I didn't even meet the criteria of my own list.
Exactly.
So I'm saying all that to say that nobody's really going to meet the criteria of your list.
Ever.
So I guess the title should be, Will You Marry Me Anyway?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Will you marry me anyway? I'm going to just talk to y'all about my list. My list was, I didn't want a woman with kids, right? I didn't want a woman with kids based on hurt that I had encountered in the past. I had to deal with in the past. So I didn't want that. She had to be a nurse. Now she did check off on it. I don't know why I wanted a nurse, y'all.
I checked off on no kids too.
Yeah. You did. I don't know why I did not. I just knew I needed I knew I wanted a nurse. I don't know why. It was weird, but hey, it had to be God. So I knew she had to be a nurse.
Maybe he just wanted to be nurtured.
Hey, I like that. Okay, that might be it.
Hey, you know.
That might just be it then. But yeah, I just knew that she had to be a nurse. She couldn't have kids. And I had a long list. She had to be a woman of God. She had to be not of God, of God. You know what I'm saying? One of them. She had to fit all of these check marks. I can't even remember the list anymore. Why?
It's so
because
funny.
I had to throw it away.
I can't remember either. I was sitting here thinking, what am I going to say about my list?
Yeah, you had a list.
Funny.
Yeah.
So my list was, of course, man of God.
Mm-hmm. Your boy.
He had to be a man who loves family.
Okay.
Very family oriented.
What?
Yeah. Had to be career driven.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even remember. It's so funny. I don't even know.
Yeah. So needless to say, I may have checked off maybe 2 boxes on her list out of 10. She
and
might
vice
have,
versa.
And vice versa. So she might have checked out 2 boxes on mine. But by the world standards and what people tell you, oh, no, that's a red flag. I can't do it. But yet, 10 years later, we're still together. Right?
Right.
And so not just like a barely kind of thing, but like still thriving in God, still doing what we need to do. You know, no cheating, none of that craziness.
Right.
So I think that
Happily married.
Happily married. So I think that, and I wanted to say all of that because some people will say happily married, but they include other stuff too. Oh. Like it depends. Some people have the open marriages and all that.
Oh, and they're happy with that.
They happy with that. So
happy godly marriage.
There you go. There you go. That's it. I like that better.
Yeah.
Happy godly marriage.
The way that God intended for marriage.
Exactly. So when we talk about, will you marry me? The first thing I think we need to do is throw away the list, y'all. Like the list gotta go. Yeah, you want to keep your standards, right? Mm-hmm. But the list has to go. You know what I'm saying?
Ask God to help you build the list that He wants you to have.
Okay.
So a lot of those attributes are not going to be those physical attributes, the things that are what we see, what we feel, all those things that appease the flesh. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So ask God to help you build a list based on spiritual things, characteristics, things like that.
Yeah. And even when you said that, like, one of the things that when I had to throw away the list, the one thing that God gave me was that I needed to have was, He said, I had to have a woman that didn't need me but wanted me. Mm. That was one right there, and she definitely checked that box. You know what I'm saying? That she didn't need me because here I am. I'm coming off a divorce. You know what I'm saying, fellas? You know how it is. If you coming off a divorce or ever been divorced or heard about anybody being divorced, you leaving everything. So you coming back with pretty much nothing. You just trying to rebuild. So she couldn't need me at that time. I'm like just trying to get myself together, moving back across country, trying to get everything together. So in that, like, God gave us what we needed and told us to keep it moving on that. Would you agree?
I agree. I think the same for me. Same thing with me coming out of divorce. So here I am rebuilding as well. Starting all over again. So. We both were in a place, I think, which was like a perfect place for God to work in both of us because we were both, we needed to rebuild and start afresh and like really seek God. Like, okay, where does life go from here? Yeah. And so I think that's a place of humility. Yeah. It wasn't like, look what I bring to the table. Or look what I bring to the table. Look, we both bringing a mess right now.
God kicked the table over.
Yeah, we're just seeking God, and it was like, I want to grow in God. I want to get to know God even more, and I think that heart of really having God as like our main desire is what like really brought us together. Yeah.
Now, I know I just said destroy the list, but one of the things you got to have is worship. Yeah. I would tell anybody, like, and I'm not going to tell you how to go about that. Like, whatever worship looks like to you. And because worship is spending that time with God, worship is really you alone with Him dealing with you, with your issues, with your mess, with your mix-up. But at the same time, He's building you. And I'm saying that because that helped me tremendously. You know what I'm saying? Everybody comes from some form of dysfunction, right? But you only know what you know. So you have to get with God to know more, for Him to pour out and like show you what it is that He needs to take apart and say, okay, I don't want you to have this because this is not good for you. This is what got you to this point. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so it's that you need to definitely have on your list. And that's worship, like spending time with God and allowing yourself to be pliable and letting God bend and mold you the way He needs to be molded. Mm-hmm. So yeah. What do you think? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah. So for me, when you brought this topic forth, I thought about, will you marry me? And I think that that's a question that makes us check ourselves. Like, what are my characteristics? What are my attributes? And so I think for so many women, including myself, we think about a woman, we all want to believe that we are the Proverbs 31 woman. Every woman wants to believe that. And I am not the one to tell anybody that they are not. But when you really truly read what Proverbs 31 says about what a woman is, and you really measure it up against yourself, you can truly identify if you are truly a Proverbs 31 woman. And that is the type of woman that you want to be going into a relationship or a marriage.
Yeah. And not allowing yourself to be broken down if you find out you're not that woman.
No.
Because truth be told, I believe that, and every man wants that Proverbs 31 woman. But I think truth be told, God was building a woman in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because let's be honest, when you talk about a man of God, I don't know, and I know some awesome men of God, I don't know one man of God that fits that criteria 120%. Everybody is being built. Right. They're being made perfect in the image of God. So, don't tear yourself up if you're not there yet, because we're all, getting built. Like, we're being built. Let me say that. Tell you I'm country.
And I bring that up to say, definitely not to beat yourself up if you're not that, because I wasn't that in its fullness. You know what I mean? And so, but to learn what that is in God's eyes, and then you can work towards being that. And so that was just one of the things. I have a list of 10 characteristics of a Proverbs 31 woman.
Okay, that's good.
For the women. So I'm going to run through these really quick.
Okay.
Because I can't bring up a topic and not tell you what it is and what you can work towards. So, one, faith. Okay. She loves Jesus with all her heart. Okay. And I'm going to give you some scripture with it. Okay. Proverbs 31:26. 2, marriage. She is faithful. She's a faithful bride. So Proverbs 31:11-12. Okay. 3, mothering. She's a loving mother, and her children call her blessed. Proverbs 31:28. Health. She takes care of her physical, mental, and spiritual health. Okay. Proverbs 31:14-15 and 31:17. Yeah. 5, service. She serves others with love and kindness. Okay. Proverbs 31:12. Proverbs 31:15. Stewardship is number 6. She is a wise steward of the gifts that God has given her. Proverbs 31:14. Proverbs 31:16. Proverbs 31:18. Okay. Industry. She is industrious and works with willing hands. Okay. Proverbs 31.
Now, let me ask you this. What does that mean to you?
So to me,
I'm asking, not like I'm really want to know, like, what does that mean to a woman? Like, I can give my perspective.
What that means is, to me, is when you are faced with a task, you're willing to work with your hands, so you're not lazy. Yeah. And then you do it without grumbling or complaining. Oh, okay. So that's what it means to me. So if there's a task for my family, okay, for example, she's industrious, she works with her hands. Okay. No woman likes to do laundry, but it's a necessary task that has to be done. Okay. But no man or anybody in the family wants to hear someone complain about a task that's necessary that has to be done on a weekly basis, and they complain about it.
Nah, that's real. That's real.
So that's my interpretation. Okay. So if I have to do laundry, if I have to do dishes, if I go to work, whatever the woman cares for her children, do whatever your task is that you're working with your hands with a grateful heart, and not without complaining or grumbling. Okay.
I mean, I cut you off, so go ahead. You can finish your list.
Oh, we just have 3 more. Okay. 7, 8. Homemaking. She's a good manager at home, and that kind of falls into what we were just talking about. Okay. 9, time. She spends time on that which is good. Okay. So monitoring where you spend your time and what you're doing with your time. And number 10, beauty. She is creative, embraces beauty and godliness. And so we're talking about godly beauty. We're not just talking about physical beauty, which you should take care of yourself.
She can't do makeup. You ain't just saying
makeup. She don't just have to put on makeup. Just the physical beauty that should radiate from a woman of God. Okay. So I just wanted to share those.
I like that. No, that's really good. That's really, really good. I think that we went to church today at Victory. Shout out Victory World Church. Pastor Dennis did a teaching today, and he said the man should lead in, how did he say it? I want to misquote him.
Let's see. It says the husband is the head of households, so you should lead in repentance.
Lead in repentance. That's it. Yeah. I was like, that was really, really good. And for me, I like to find areas that I need to, I might need to work on this part right here. Because, like I said, nobody's perfect. And looking at that, I'm like, okay, I could do better with that. You know what I'm saying? And being able to be, like she just read off the list, a lot of us as men, of course, a lot of men deal with ego, pride, all that stuff. And I get that. And it's like, okay, you need to be able to acknowledge your issues and walk it out and deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever, it don't have to be in front of nobody. As long as it's between you and God, being able to walk that thing out and say, all right, God, I want to be that man that you've called me to be. Help me not to be just the man that I've seen in the past or the man that raised me. Help me to be better. And I want to be that man that you've called me to be. So somebody else can look at me and say, that's what a man of God looks like. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I mean, I feel like when it comes to it, we all have things that we can work on. But at the end of the day, I would say we just crossed the 10-year mark. It feels like longer than 10 years sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, if y'all know our story, like, it went, like, super fast. But at the end, while we were waiting to be married, it seemed like it was super slow.
Right.
And so when we finally got married, it was like, okay, 5-year anniversary. And now it's 10. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
you know,
next thing we know, we're gonna look up. It's gonna be 20.
I'm telling you, like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, baby, you getting old. Now,
Oh man.
but no, I mean, we got to look at this thing and say, okay, because you understand, marriage is more than just a day. It's more than just a show. You putting on you giving the kind words, you're giving the beautiful words, telling her how beautiful she is. The family stand up and applauding you both. It's more than because at the end of the day, when all that's said and done, when the reception is over, y'all have to dwell with each other with understanding.
Right.
And that's the thing. Will you marry me? And I think the key word in that question is not the marry, it's the me. Because me comes with some stuff that I'm not telling you about. Me comes with some stuff that I don't know about.
That's what I was just gonna say. And sometimes it's because you don't even know about it. I can't tell you about the issues that I don't even know that I have.
Yep. I think the biggest thing is like whether you're engaged, whether you're in a relationship, because I would say if your heart is centered on God, the end cap is marriage. You ain't gonna just be in a relationship to be with somebody for 8 years. You know what I'm saying? Like just dating. So you should be able to find out the issues that they have, you know what I'm saying, or get them to talk about their issues as much as you can, and y'all walk it out and say, okay, divorce is not an option. That was one for me because I never heard nobody say that. I didn't know that was a thing. I always thought that you get married and hope that it works out. You don't set a thing in your mind like, nope, I'm not getting a divorce. I didn't know that. So the first 3, 4, 5 years of our marriage, I didn't know that. I never had that in my head. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then it was like one day, I don't remember whether it was in my prayer time or whether Apostle Tyson told me. I don't remember. But it clicked like, oh, yeah, I need to stay here. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, it was a wake-up call. And I'm saying this so that when we talk about will you marry me, marry is not let's do the dance, let's, you know what I'm saying, have kids and see what happens. It's not. It's a permanent thing in your heart. When you accept that person that you say that you love so much, they're in God's image and all this, and it makes you feel all googly-eyed and butterflies. Mm-hmm. Are you there for the long haul? Because
you have to take those vows very seriously.
Yeah.
Because you may come up to challenges that challenge
you
each
will.
one of them.
You will.
You know what I mean? For us, I know that, early on in our marriage, maybe at, I can't remember, 4 or 5 years, we were challenged with in sickness and in health.
Yeah.
I went through an episode where I had a ruptured appendix that formed an abscess in my stomach, and I was really sick to the point where Keon had to do dressing changes, had to help me at the hospital.
Yeah. Could have died.
Yeah, the doctors definitely was saying they don't know how I was alive.
Yeah.
So one of the incidents that stood out during that time, Keon knows that I like to have my toes and nails polished. Don't know what it is about it, but I do. And I couldn't bend over, let alone polish my toes. And so he went home one day and he came back. Keon is such a manly man. Y'all know this. So he knows nothing about polish or anything. But he just wanted to make me feel better. He went home and got my nail polishes and things. And he tried to polish my toes for me.
I painted your toe, not your toenail, your whole toe.
The whole toe. I mean, it was dripping down the toe. But y'all, that was the best toenail polish ever because the heart behind it. Here it is, 5 years later, and I'll never forget that. Never forget that. So what I was
She better
saying
not.
is, those vows, we have to stand by them because you will be challenged in those areas, and so you better mean it when you say it.
Yep. And when you're challenging it, it doesn't make your marriage weak. You know what I'm saying? Some people they don't want to talk about their marriage issues because I don't want nobody to know that we going through something. Bro, you better be going through something. Like, if you're not going through something, it's like, yo, wait a minute. Are we even really married? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have to be bad. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're not challenging your love, if you're not challenged in your conversation, if you're not challenging your communication, it's like you're not stretching. You've gotten comfortable.
Those are the things that build your marriage. Those are the things that make your marriage like, oh, I know we can stand because we've had to.
Yeah.
You know, if you've never been challenged with anything, how do you even know how strong your marriage is?
There you go. And like we talk about, like we deal with marriage and relationships. So, like, a ship is supposed to move. A ship is supposed to always be moving. If not, it can get shipwrecked, it can get dry rotted, all of that. And so you have to be able to say, okay, is this ship moving? When is the last time this ship moved? Had this ship put an anchor down? Has it gotten stalled somewhere? And what can we do to continuously work on it? Fellas, I know we don't like that can we talk situation, but sometimes you have to initiate a conversation. That's one thing that I do say I'm good at. I'll initiate a conversation, whether it's a hard conversation, a good whatever. If I feel like we need to move our marriage forward or just whatever. If I feel like I haven't been communicating on my end, we going to have these conversations. I don't care if it's about sneakers, I don't care, whatever it is. It needs to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, communication is one of the core foundations of marriage.
Yep.
You know, God, communication, trust, you know, these things are necessary for a good marriage or relationship.
Yeah. Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact. So, listen, we are close up to the 25-minute mark. I didn't want to go too deep into this because we need to do a part 2. So we'll be back with part 2. Never know who we might have with us. So, but we're going to stay consistent with this, y'all. Going to stay consistent. So hit the like, subscribe, because this is on YouTube and podcast. Yes. Our podcast is for grown folks only. It's available everywhere. Monica has a YouTube page. Shout out your YouTube page, baby.
Oh, yeah. Shout out
pages, excuse me.
Yes. Mo's World. It's just about, you know, my personal life, doing reviews of a lot of different things. And then Mo on the Go. I travel a lot with my job. So we're going to, you know, we travel a lot to different places. It's reviews on hotels, restaurants, and nearby attractions. So please check both of those out.
Yep. Definitely. Also, we both own clothing brands.
Yes.
Mine is Verb Society, VERBBTA@gmail.com. Excuse me, not Gmail. Why did I say Gmail? That's hilarious. Normally, and this is funny because usually when somebody says, "Oh, what's your email?" I give them the website.
Yeah.
So I just did the opposite. Anyway, scratch that. This is what it is. It's VERBTA.com.
Verb.BT. Is it verb?
VerbBTA.com.
No dot in between the B.
No.
Okay.
No.
And then mine is girlygirlworld.com.
Yeah, spell it out because it's not like that.
So.
Try to correct mine.
So, let me read it because I always get it confused with the website. With the email too. So it's girly, GRLY, girl, GRL, then world, WORLD.com.
There you go.
Girlygirlworld.com.
Yeah. And so like I said, this is still new for us. It's newer for me than anything. She's always doing videos, but it's newer for me. So we're gonna continue to do this. I'm also gonna be launching my own personal YouTube.
Yeah,
soon,
baby.
very soon.
Looking forward to it.
It's gonna be called Fresh Perspective.
Yeah.
So yeah, love y'all.
Love you guys.
And looking forward to doing more with you guys and rocking out with you. You know what I'm saying? It's gone. So, I forgot. Good in the Hood.
Oh, how could you forget?
I know. So, Good in the Hood is also my podcast.
Yes.
Good in the Hood. We're in, 3 seasons?
Yeah.
3 seasons, y'all. So, that's where my attention has been going to.
Yeah.
So, check us out. We love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. everything. We love y'all.
And we'll link those websites below in the description box because we did run through them kind of quickly. So if you want to check them out, we'll link them below.
Yep, definitely. Love y'all. We gone.